Alright, so this video is going to be on how to solve the Megaminx. Alright, so in order to solve the Megaminx, you obviously need to know how to solve a 3x3, but in regards to puzzles, that's about it. This cube only requires a couple more special algorithms, but they're pretty simple. If you have any questions or comments or anything, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. I answer the comments all the time, and I try and respond as fast as I can. The first step in solving the Megaminx is similar to a 3x3, how you'd get the white cross. But with this, there's 5 edge pieces, so the shape you're going to get is a white star. So just like this piece right here, the white and purple, you just solve these edges on these 5 sides. So like this blue, you just rotate it over here, hook it up with the blue center, and then move it into the white. So then you see this green, which it's all the way over here, so you just have to move it around the cube and then hook it up to the green and then move it down. And this red here, you move it down, hook it up with the red, and move it to the white side. And the last one is the yellow one, which is here. So I need to get it over here. So just rotate it. And if it's like this, you just match it up, put it in, and then put that purple back. Okay, step 2 is solving the corners. So again, just like on a 3x3, you just solve the corners that go between the correct centers. So for this, like this piece is on the right side, but it's in the wrong position. So this green, white, and purple needs to go over here. So how you do that is you just take it out, and you bring it over here. So once you have the corner above where it needs to go, you can just do the sexy move, which is R, U, R prime, U prime, and just keep doing that until it flips the corner in. And you do that for all 5 of the corners. Okay, once you have the rest of the white side, the next step is just like on a 3x3, again, you'd get the middle layer. So here on this puzzle, it would just be that next edge. So if you look at it like this, it's just that next edge. So the yellow and blue needs to go here, and so it's right here. So an easy way to do it is match up the correct color with the center, and so you need to move it to the right, so you do this algorithm. And these F2L algorithms are the same as from 3x3. So the next one is the yellow and purple. So this time we match it up with the center, and then it's going to the left. So we do that algorithm. And it puts it in. So then you do that with all of the 5 spots. Okay, so the first part of the solve was almost exactly like it is on a 3x3, which should be pretty easy. Here is where it gets a little bit tricky. So the next step is to solve this block right here. So that involves, well, if you have the white side on bottom, you take 2 of the next centers and then one of the higher ones. So you find the corner that goes there, and then the 2 edges on either side. Okay, so I usually like to start with the edge that goes on the left side. So if you have the 2 bottom centers right here, I would want the center that goes here, so the pink and blue. So I look around and it's here. So I can match it up with the pink, and then I could slide it over to match it up with the centers. So then the next step would be to put the corner into that place. So I can do that by rotating the cube. So the white side is kind of cockeyed now. So I can put this corner just over where it needs to go. And then I can do the sexy move. And that'll put it in place. And you might have to do the sexy move a couple times to make sure it's oriented right. So then you rotate back, and it's like this. So then, the next step is to get the last edge that goes in this block, so the pink and red. So it's right up here. And the way you could do that is, again, you could rotate it, so the white side's cockeyed. And then you could rotate this edge to where you can just insert it like that. But since they aren't the same color, you can rotate it over here. So now you're just inserting it to the left like you would just the regular F2L case. So you just use that regular F2L algorithm. And then rotate the cube back, and that'll have solved the block. Okay, so after you have this first block, you would go to the next one. So in this case, it's like the tan color, green, and red. So I would need to find the tan and red since it goes on the left. Look around, and here it is. So I would rotate this over and match it up with the tan, and then move it down and match it up. So then next step is to solve that corner. So I look around, and it's right here in the back. So what I can do is I can rotate it to the top layer and just swing it around. And then here, I would rotate the cube, put the corner above where it needs to go, and then do the sexy move until it's solved, and rotate it back. So then the last edge is right here. So I could just rotate it. And so now they're the same colors. So I would just do that regular F2L insert. Put it back. And then I'll solve the block. So then you got 2 of them. You do the rest of the 3 blocks. You have 4 of the blocks solved. And you're on the last one. The last one can be pretty tricky, so I'll show you. So first step is to get the left edge, just like normal. So like if it was over here, you just take it out, match it up with the center, and then rotate it down. And then you'd get the corner, which is right here. So you take it out of there. And then a good trick you can do is, it might be a little bit confusing, but if you rotate this corner all the way out of the way, you can rotate this blue side so it rotates the corner spot. So now it's right above where it needs to go, and you just do the sexy move, and then all you have to do is rotate it back. So then you get the edge, so you can do that same trick with that. So you rotate it all the way out of the way, and you can rotate this blue side up. You gotta make sure these 2 colors are the same, so you'd rotate it on this side. And so this is the F2L case where it's going to the right. So you do this algorithm. And then you just rotate it back. And then you should have all 5 of the blocks now. You should have your white side, your first 2 layers, and 5 blocks now. So all you have left is these little pockets right here, and then the last layer. So the next step is to solve these 2 pieces. So you find out which corner goes here, which is the yellow, light green, and orange. It's right back here. So we can take it out of this spot, rotate it over here, and you can do the sexy move until it solves. And then you would solve the edge just like you would any F2L case. Like that. You do that for all 5 of the spots. You should now have the whole cube solved except for the last layer. Okay, the last layer is the same as you would on the beginner's method of the 3x3. So for the 3x3 beginner's method, you would just solve the yellow cross like this, and then you would permute these edges to put them in the solved positions. So like this. So you'd have the red and the green and the orange and the blue. And then you would put the corners in the correct places. It's like this. And it doesn't have to be flipped right. It's like this. And then you just rotate the corners. It's like that. And that's the exact same way we're going to do the Megaminx. So the first step is to get the gray star. And you could either have 1 edge, 3 edges. I'm going to show the 1 edge case. If you know from my 3x3, the L case is what I call it. You just do that algorithm and it'll rotate at least 2 more edges. So if you don't know it, I'll show it on the screen. So then it gives you a couple more edges. So then in this case, it's similar to when you have this case. So I call this the line case, and they kind of look similar because it goes like all the way across. So it's just F, sexy, F prime, and that'll get you your gray star. Okay, the other case you could get is like this. So this looks like the L case from 3x3. So it's kind of like that kind of shape. And you would do that same algorithm. So again, I'll put it on the screen. And that'll get you your gray star. Okay, the next step is to permute those edges. So put them in the right place. So like this pink and gray, this is what you're going for on all 5 of them. There's 3 different cases you could get. You could get this case where there's 1 here and then 1 here, like on opposite sides. Or the opposite one could be over here. Or you could get the case where it's just 1 edge all the way around. So how you would check is you just rotate the side. So then this one's solved. And then this one. And you're looking for 2 pieces that are solved. But this is the case that there's only 1 solved no matter how you turn it. And then the other case you could get is like this, where there's 2 solved and they're adjacent from each other. Okay, I'll start with the one where there's only 1 edge solved. So the algorithm I'm going to be using, same algorithm from a 3x3, which is called the soon or the fish case. And I'll put it on the screen. And then you do the U2 like that. And then I'll have solved at least 1 other edge. Alright, next I'll show the case where there's the 2 solved and they're adjacent. So here you'd use the same algorithm as the last time, the soon algorithm. So you'd put the 2 solved ones on the left side. So this one that's not solved, that's the side you would be turning. So you do the soon. And you might have to do it again. And that'll solve all of the 5 edges. Okay, and then for the other case, where you have 1 here, and then 1 in the back. So you'd have it pointing on the right side. So you'd have this one solved in the front, and this is a different algorithm, but it's pretty easy to learn. So it goes like this. and you might have to do it 2 times. And that'll solve the 5 edges. Okay, so once we have the edges permuted and oriented, we can start on the corners. So the corners can be a little bit more tricky than the edges. So you could have either 1 or 2 corners in the right position. And they don't necessarily have to be flipped right like this. It could be like flipped like this, but this is considered correct. So the algorithm that I'm going to show you switches 3 corners. The 3 corners that it switches are if you have like the white side on bottom and then it's positioned like this, it will preserve these front right corners and then it'll switch these 3 in the back. So you would want to put any of them that are solved in the front part. And then you would just do this algorithm to try and mix up these corners. Turning this side, and then this side. And you look around, and it put this one into position. So then you would hold it right here, and you do the algorithm again. And that might have put all the corners into position. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So if you got to the corners and then you find none of them are in position, it doesn't matter where you hold the cube. You can just do that corner switch algorithm. And you might have to do it again. And that'll most likely put at least 1 or maybe 2 corners into position. Okay, here's the tricky case that you might run into. So you have 1 corner that's in position, and then you have another one, but it's positioned over here. So then if you do that corner switch algorithm, it'll only preserve 1 of them, and it'll move the other one around. So what you have to do is the 3 edges that you need to mix up are this one, and this one. So if you remember from that algorithm, if you hold like this solved one up here, it'll mix up this one, and this one. So what you can do is you rotate this corner up here, so now it's these 3 corners. So you can just hold the cube right here and you do that corner switch algorithm. And then you just move this back down. And that didn't solve it, so I'm going to do it again. So again, rotate this corner up there. Do the algorithm. And then move it back. And it solved all the corners. Okay, the last step of solving the Megaminx is to rotate the corners around. So how you do this is, so like this one, this unsolved corner, you'd hold it in the front right, and you do this. So R prime, D prime with this layer, R, D. And you do that as many times as it takes to get that corner oriented right. So then you want to hold where your hands are right here, because you could easily mess this up. So now you turn the top layer over to like this one that's still unsolved. You do that algorithm, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, and that'll solve that one. Or you might have to do it a couple more times. So then you just keep rotating over. You would do that algorithm again. And remember, just keep doing it until that corner gets solved. And then just hold your hand there, rotate this other corner around, and then keep doing it until that solves. And then all you have to do is return the layer, and the Megaminx should be solved. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, Again, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. I hope this helped you.